About Terrence Howard's system of multiplication, and if you follow this, then you know how this works. But basically, if you take 2 and you divide it by 1.41, it equals 1.41, which is the square root of 2. The square root function looks like a divided symbol. So the square root of 2 is 1.41. And so with the mathematical function of the Terrence Howard system is you have a plus 1 on the multiplication side, so you have parentheses a times b, unparentheses, and then plus 1, basically, for your function. And then on the division side, you have a minus 1, same thing, a except it's divided by b instead of multiplied by b, and so then you get a minus 1 function on that end. So when you do the square root function, you get to 1.41, and then you do the 1.41 divided. So the 1.41 at that point that you have is since you did the division, you do a subtract 1 from that. So because that was a division function, then you do a subtraction of 1 from that. So now that you did a subtraction of 1 from that, you do now that you've done that, you're at 0.41, and then you add that to the function of the plus 1 that you've done on the other side, because 1 times 1 equals 2 now. So because of that, then you add that up, and that equals 2.41, which is the exact ratio that you need, which maintains the exact Fibonacci spiral sequence for the square root of 2 problem. Okay, sexy universe out there. Alright, yeah, that's that. But I wanted to explain that down. So, and now the important part, now that we've done this, now that we've made this system that we're talking about here for the Terrence Howard system of multiplication, now we have this, now we're going to have to come up, because now the closer that we get to 0, the more that it falls apart. So once you start getting down to 0 functions, so if 0 is treated as 0, so 0 point something is actually treated as a negative, because of it kind of starts to fall apart the closer that you get to 0. Just as our standard system starts to fall apart. That's why we have a problem with the quantum realm and the other realms, because it's a problem with the mathematics. Okay, so there's 2 different systems here, and we're going to be able to have the problem instead of us pushing out the problem really far. This Terrence Howard system works with the problem on the close end, so the problem is on this end instead of that end. So you can we can do quantum calculations and have them align with standard calculations. So we overlay these two models, the standard multiplication table model, and then this new Terrence Howard system. And yeah, that's that. That's going to be pretty much how it's going to work. And so both systems overlay, and so we could technically replace it, and because this system's more natural system for natural values. But if you notice, the closer you get to 0, the harder the functions become to actually calculate. And just like that's what happens, that same thing is happening on the other side of it. Normally in our system, it's happening on the reverse end, on the far end, instead of the close end. So instead of dealing with the problem at the close end, it's pushing the problem far away, and that's why we're having the problem that we have with the quantum world versus standard systems. But yeah, general relativity or whatever, and but that's pretty much the problem there. So, anyways, I wanted to explain that, and I want you to think about the functions the closer you get to zero and how they start to fall apart. And as you can think about those functions, that's how you can calculate how to make the standard system work at the quantum realm. So we can use this other system to fix our current model, which falls apart at the further end. So you can calculate how it falls apart in the exact trajectory of how it falls apart at the lower end as it does, like moving towards zero, and we can overlay that on the other end, and we can have both models working together. So, anyways, I wanted to make this video, and I hope someone comments and talks to me about this, because this is something I'm working on, and I think it's very important. I've solved the problem for the square root of 2 function already, and there's no one else presenting any other arguments to the problem. So we can multiply values by values, units by units. It just makes logical sense. So, anyways, leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Love you all. Hope you have a glorious, magnificent, wonderful, beautiful, awesome, amazing, incredible existence and time. And I'll see you all around in the next video. So, till next time. Bye.